Opening text files in Python is a really important part of programming. And if you're new to this, I want to show you a nice, efficient and simple way to open text files using Python. To show you the setup, I'm inside a folder called June. I've got a file called main.py, which is this one. I've got a text file called hello.txt. And what we're going to do is open this and read this contents out as a string here. Now, if you've not seen opening files before in Python, there's actually a couple of ways of doing it. There's a more traditional way where you open the file, you do some stuff, then you call file.close. That's fine. However, it is quite messy because you have to recall to do file.close at the end to explicitly close the file. What we're going to do is we're going to use a bit of syntax called with. And what I'll do, I'll write it out in pseudocode first and kind of explain the process. So we say with open, and we pass in some file name here, then we have to give an alias. So if I say my file, for example, and then underneath here, we can then have some indentation. We can say, do some stuff. And then once it's finished and we jump outside this indentation, Python closes it automatically for you. So you haven't got to worry about, calling file.close once this is done. The fact that we're using with open means that it's done for us automatically. So without further ado, let's jump straight in and actually convert this. So let's get rid of this, bring this open here. And now the first thing we want to do is make sure we get the file name correct. Now, because I'm in the same directory as this here, I can actually just write hello.txt like that here. I'll do an ellipsis and just check that this works. That's fine. However, it's generally best practice to use the absolute path. So in VS Code, if you do copy path like this, and just stick that in there. So of course, in this case, say I suppose this was in a totally different directory, away from this, that would be completely fine. So it's up to you. You can either use this if you're certain it sits in the same directory, or use the full path to that file if it lives somewhere else. So if I hit run here, we can see that it's fine. There's no issues. And now what we want to do is say, okay, with this file open as this alias, do some stuff. So if I just went and did print my file like this here, we'll see that it gives us a file object. So this kind of text IO wrapper here, name, hello, txt, mode, R, and some encoding. Now, what we want to do is we need to choose what we want to do with this. The main thing that you want to do, just for getting the text out of it, is call the read method. And the read method is effectively going to open this, extract all of this, and give it as one big string here. So if I set up a variable saying contents equals, and then if I do my file dot, say it's just this read method here, because it's a method, you want to call it, so pass in these parentheses here. And now what I can then do is go ahead and do print contents here. And there we are, let's hit run. And there we go. So hello there, my name is James, that's the contents of the file there. So I add some more exclamation marks, hit save and hit run. You can see that, yeah, there we go. We've read the new contents of the file here. Before we go any further, I want to cover these two bits here. So when I just printed my file, we see that we have these two different things. We have mode and encoding here. And these are actually two things that you can set. So by default, whenever you open a file, you open it in R for read mode. So if I do mode equals, it's not for this video, but you can choose to open files in, say, W for writing, A for appending, RB for raw bytes here. But if you're just reading a file, you haven't got to worry about doing this because R is already the default. The second one is this encoding here. Now, generally if you're using like a Western keyboard or a Western system, the encoding is going to be UTF-8. That's generally your universal standard of encoding. But say for example, if I was doing encoding equals, I suppose it was a different type of document, it might be in a different language. There's like Latin ones, there's all kinds of different ones here. But in general, I wouldn't worry too much about the encoding because 90% of the time they're going to be in UTF-8 here. And in a nutshell, that's how you do it. You simply do with this file open as this, then do some variable is equal to, this dot read. So say if this was x, for example, we could just do x.read as well and print off the contents here. And of course, because you've opened this using with open, we haven't got to worry about doing an explicit close on the file there. Cheers for watching, guys, and have a good week.